Coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
And today is Manifestation Monday, and we're going to talk about giving your gift of prosperity to yourself for the holidays. We all don't want to go in debt. We want to have a great holidays and know the truth, claim our birthright of prosperity. So we come together each morning to know the truth, get some inspiration, and I don't know, whatever.
Whatever you want.
And wake up. It's early Monday morning. I'm stumbling all over the place.
Caffeinate up.
Honestly. Not gonna
Motivation Monday. Well, I'm so excited to welcome to the show our very special guest this morning. We have back in the studio Nicole from Cut from the Cloth. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning.
I gotta say, I'm wearing my cut and I like it.
Oh.
We're so excited to have you here. Here in Good Morning LaLaLand, we'd like to know, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine like?
Well, let's see, my morning routine. I definitely start with some coffee because I need to wake up. I'm a mother of two, so I definitely need that caffeine to get going. And then I need to work out and just get going, get the blood flowing. And then it's crazy at my household. We have getting the kids ready and out the door and starting the day. So definitely some coffee and working out.
So some coffee and then some cut, right? Because I'm sure you got to put on your favorite denim during the day.
Absolutely, yes. So yeah, I put on those jeans. It makes me look and feel good, and I walk out the door with some confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Go chic, this new heritage line. I'm excited about it. I'm so excited. Fellow Michigander Megan Fenyo is in the house. She is an expert at You Are Enough, 5 steps to move from struggle to strength.
All right.
Conversation we have a lot here, right?
We do.
How are you, Megan?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Oh, I'm so excited. Megan and I grew up 20 minutes from each other.
Shut up.
Such a small world. Absolutely, such a small world.
Absolutely. I like to say the world isn't small. We're just rising up. When you rise up, there's fewer people to connect with, and then our paths cross, right?
Yes.
So true.
There's some truth in that. So, Megan, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Morning routine is so important. I actually talk about that in my book. And so definitely starting my morning with affirmations and, manifesting the things that I want to happen for my day. For me, that's very important. Try not to look at my cell phone when I first wake up because that can cause a lot of anxiety. So doing affirmations, definitely working out. That's also my stress relief. And just, being present in the moment so that you can focus on, having a fantastic day. So just a little bit of what I do.
We got to give your dad a special shout out. Go Bulldogs today. He went to the same high school that I did.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Granville Lake is in the house. She's an indie dream pop artist. Good morning, Lake.
Hello, thank you so much. Oh, sorry. Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, there we go. She can mic drop now. So, Lake, how do you start your day? What's your routine?
I generally I have a little Shih Tzu Terrier Poodle mix, and he wakes me up every morning, and I start by giving him usually a minimum of a 10-minute tummy scratch, because if I don't, he's not in a good mood for the day. So my day starts with snuggles from him, and then generally I will have a cup of tea, sometimes a cup of coffee if I have an early appearance or something. And then I like to get my blood flowing as well, like the other ladies here. Something like hiking for me. I'll take my dog on a brisk walk. Sometimes I'll go attend a class with circuit training and weights and cardio, etc. It just depends on what I'm feeling that day. And then I like to take a little bit time to myself to center before emails, just so I can kind of get my head in the business place and then start my day usually.
Starting the day with intention. Love it.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited that you started the day with us today here on Good Morning LaLaLand, and we're excited to talk to you more later in the show.
Yeah.
So grateful for
Monday.
Yes.
Monday.
Are you feeling Monday?
I'm feeling the Monday. My mind is not here at all. What are we talking about again today? I'm not gonna lie.
Where am I? Who am I? Yeah.
I got up at like 4. I seem like to be awake until you start talking from the camera, and you're like, wait, I'm actually not awake. Okay. Good to know.
What do you think that is? Do you think it's just because we all get used to the weekend and it's a slower pace, and all of a sudden the Monday?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there is a different energy in the universe on Mondays. I swear something shifts between Monday and Friday. It's the case of the Mondays. We've all got it, right?
It is so funny. I will say this though. I look forward to my Mondays in a way now that I never did before. before I used to hate money. I mean, right? Did you?
I love you, Rob.
Oh my God! If you've ever had a 9-to-5 job that you
No,
hate,
I've never.
wow,
No.
that is incredible. It is both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because I have gratitude now for the work that I do in a way I never did before.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what else I have gratitude for today? This shirt. A special thanks to ID Social. They sent it over to me. I reached out on Instagram and sent it over. So thank you very much. I feel very chic today. Isn't
love
that
it.
fun? Look
I
at
like
the
it.
sleeves,
So fun.
right?
Look like an angel.
Super
You just
chic.
fly away.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you know.
Tell me more. So how was your weekend, guys?
It was awesome. Mine was relaxing. How was yours? Yeah.
Mine was beautiful. I actually worked all day on Saturday, and then Sunday I went up to Sarah and Craig. They have this beautiful home up in the hills, and they invited, I don't know, there's probably like 80 people there. It was this like mini mansion overlooking the city, and they had all these incredible speakers and they were all catered and beautiful. I gave the opening invocation and prayer and a little meditation, and they just had fabulous speakers, and it was one of those moments where I'm like, this is why we're doing what we're doing. This is the blessing of having advanced consciousness, because you just wouldn't be around people like that. There's just all these extraordinary people coming together. And I sat and chatted with this one gentleman for quite a while. He started the show Scorpion. I guess it's like the #1 TV show. It's
Erin, it's huge.
It's about his life.
It's a massive show.
So it's about his life, and he was this genius. He has a higher IQ than Einstein, Walter, and he literally hacked NASA at like 12 or 14 years old, and they pulled them out, and basically it's this incredible
Wow.
story. Yeah.
So you met this guy?
I was gabbing them for hours. I mean, it's like these are the type of people at this bar. Like, these people are amazing, extraordinary people. So.
And did you learn anything from him, from his conversation? What was the
Yeah, so
takeaway?
what was interesting was he has, his personality is he's 100% left brain, so he has 0 right brain. So he literally has no emotional intelligence. So he has to make up and compensate for his emotional IQ by having a lot of logic. So it was hilarious, because everything, he had this rhyme and reason for every little thing of why it would equate to this and this and this. And so it was, we had a good debate. But yeah, I guess that's what the show, I guess there's somebody in the show that basically balances out this very emotionally strong in their IQ, and it balances out. So that's the point, is that there is this perfection in the universe, no matter where we are, even in our personality, that we will balance out at some level. And so pretty fascinating, interesting conversation.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I've read a little bit about hemisync, and hemisync is like, when both of your your left hemisphere and right hemisphere are working sort of collaboratively and synchronistically together, and that makes for a much more sort of enjoyable, effortless life.
Yeah.
So when you just got one that's really working powerfully and the other one's not, that's fascinating to me.
Then you might have a team around you that
Yes,
compensates for
exactly.
that, right?
Right,
But big
absolutely.
shout out to Sarah and Craig. Beautiful, beautiful parties. They did extraordinary. And I think that's where I see things going. It may not be that like lavish of a party, but intimate places where you connect with human beings and where you have deep conversations, and that's where I want to be. That's what I want more in my life.
You mean you just don't want to sit in a room somewhere and talk to people over FaceTime, and it's not your idea of a happy, healthy life? Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Totally. I've been to their house before, by the way. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
The view, it's just incredible, and they're great people. So.
I'm currently manifesting that home for myself.
Jess.
I had a great weekend. I went to the launch of Worldwide Influencer magazine. It was hosted at the rooftop of the 60 Hotel here in Beverly Hills on Wilshire. Incredible venue and super cool crowd. So very excited. Congratulations to them on that. And then I had a really great photo shoot on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, right here in Beverly Hills. I shot with Will Collette at Bill Co on Instagram. And he works with Hollywood Real, Jay Menez, who had come on our show a couple weeks ago. So we did a collaboration, so stay tuned. I'll put up some fun pictures on my IG soon, at Jeslyn. But yeah, that was my weekend. And I was reading the Mark Your Mirror, Change Your Life by Marissa Peer.
How is it?
I read that one.
It's great. It's great, actually. It's a very quick read, but I'm reading it slowly because I really like to sit with what I'm reading, chapter at a time, and then at the end of it, there's an exercise and like a hypnosis that you can go to on her app. It's all free. So I'm really trying it because I really want to mark my mirror and change my life.
There's a principle embodied in just what you said, Jez, which is like not reading the book just to get to the end of it, the way we mostly live our lives, right? Like you just live your life in a way to how you have to get to the end, so, get to the manifestation. But I love that you do that, Jez.
I
sort of process.
take my sweet time with that.
Right, right. So speaking of hello, it's the holidays, or we're officially into it this week, and we want to talk about giving yourself the gift of prosperity for the holidays.
How do we do that?
Well, first of all, I think it says something. I don't know if these stats are exactly correct, but according to Lending Tree, the average American will get into $1,003 in debt over the holidays. So we want to talk about this. And I remember so specifically when my son was young, there was one holiday where I put some presents on a credit card. And I remember kind of waking up after Christmas, you know, another couple days down the road, and just being like, wow, what have I done? You know, like I really have bought into this BS belief system of our culture, like that we have to just keep up with the Jones and keep up whatever and then get stressed out. Like that is completely against what I want to create for the holidays. So I just feel like it's so important for people to take a look and know that they can powerfully go into December and consciously choose what they're doing and consciously make this a turning point and a pivot point for their entire life around finances.
I absolutely love that. I am totally about the experience of the holidays. I mean, the experience of any day, you know, and they say that scientifically you're better off spending your money if you want to, on experiences as opposed to like acquisitions or material objects because they make you happier. So
interesting.
Yeah.
How about you, Jess?
Well, it's hard for me because I am guilty as charged. I put most of my gifts on the charge card because I love gifting and I love being able to make someone feel special through that way, but it's not oftentimes something that I can really afford to do. So I will spend beyond my means just to make somebody else feel better.
Yeah.
So
because it makes me feel better.
Yeah, and I get that, and I would say that, and I want to hear both your perspectives on this, but I would say that there's obviously a challenge, an opportunity with financial spending, but there's also a challenge and opportunity with psychological, emotional, and spiritual debt, right? Which I think we often experience over the course of the holidays, which is, you know, you feel depleted, you don't take care of yourself, you're not focusing on the things that actually make you happy, and in a sort of larger way, in a lot more long-term way, I think that's just as detrimental to your financial condition as anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, my sister and I spoke about it on the phone. We're like, okay, what are we doing? Are we doing presents? We're not. She's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, I don't either. Okay, good. So what we're going to do is we make cookies. So instead of, you know, because it's a whole process of opening presents and there's an experience in that. So instead, we make cookies and we decorate them and we make a whole experience out of that. But we don't do any gifts for the family. Like we might like have, you know, a few gifts for the kids, or we'll pull one name for each. It's just like, it just seems goofy. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's not goofy for the mom who's watching this right now who wants to give gifts to her kids who believe in Santa Claus and they want to wake up to gifts under the tree. So what do you say to that person?
It's a great, our kids are grown. It's very different. I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I think that it is just consciously choosing. And I think that if you're going to consciously choose to use your credit card, consciously do that instead of feeling like I'm the effect of my credit cards now, right? You're like, okay, this is my plan. And we know already, we talked about last week, Harvard proved that basically 3% of the population set goals and has a plan. So have a plan. If you're choosing to go into debt over the holidays, have a plan so that you're not waking up and getting anxiety and not being able to sleep or feeling stressed about it. Consciously choose what you're going to choose and then go for it.
Yeah, be intentional about it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I would say that for me, that often means just being as present as humanly possible. Like I think in the holidays, we get so distracted with expectations and with events and all these things that we feel like we have to do or should do, and we often miss the opportunity to enjoy the people and the things that are right there in front of us. And so you're right, you know, if you want to spend money, spend money. If you don't want to spend money, don't spend money. But either way, I think it's your presence that's the real present.
Totally.
You know? What's the first present you ever remember getting for Christmas?
Oh man, great question, Jess. So I would say that, boy, I remember getting a Mariah Carey CD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mariah Carey was a big
it was a big deal, man. Had a big influence on my life. I don't know why, but she did.
That holiday CD is still the one I have.
It is? Oh, are you kidding?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love it for Christmas? It's like, that's the jam right there. I love that.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
I remember getting a bike with training wheels, and I also remember getting a BB gun that I wanted for a long time. It took a lot of convincing to get my parents to buy it for me, but I ended up deciding to trade it and then save all my money up in order to get a basketball hoop in my backyard because I wanted to be a professional basketball player.
But see, that conscious giving, and your parents might have sacrificed and compromised so they could go create a memory for you that lasts a lifetime.
It's true.
That you can still talk about that basketball hoop right now. And I think that is so important. It's beyond just the credit card debt. Is what you're investing in your family and your memories.
That's true. That's true. Without question. I mean, my parents, as I'm sure you guys, parents did the same, sacrificed oh my gosh, so much in order to get us even the simplest things, right?
Yeah.
And I love my mom so much. But I remember one year she got us a TV for the house. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And she got a TV. It was like this big thing. We got a TV, and then she put it in her room.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was so rad.
That's what you really do. You buy gifts that the other person doesn't want so you can keep them.
No, I'm all about. I think it's a great point, Jess. And I think to buy a present that really matters, that's going to make an impact, like a basketball hoop. That's something that you'd use for. But you don't have to buy like 100 other things that are just like trinkets, and just they all add up to so much. So consciously choosing what you're going to buy as presents, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Thank you, Mom, for buying me the Barbie dream house, because now I know exactly what I'm manifesting since I was like 4 years old.
Oh man, I was traumatized over that Barbie.
Did you get a Barbie dream house?
That was the one thing I wanted, and I remember I never got it, and I remember being very devastated
That was a
about that.
major status symbol.
Yeah.
Status symbol at like 5 to 7 to 8 years
I've
age.
been in trauma my whole life.
Where have you? I thought my cousin was rich when she received the Barbie dream house. Like they had a Ken thing and the pool in the backyard. I was like, wow, she must be rich.
Had that elevator with the pull string that it would raise.
elevator.
Yes.
Pretty serious.
Thanks, Mom. I love
So
that
funny,
Barbie
yeah.
dream house.
But anyway, just knowing the prosperity, whatever works for you, that's the point, is that for some people, you know, there is a decision to be made to live however powerfully you want to live around money. And I'm actually running a 30-day prosperity for the month of December as a bonus for a mastermind that is that begins for Soul Society. So I'm so excited.
Fantastic.
You can DM me or
Looking forward to
whatever.
that.
And,
When's that begin?
well, the mastermind's beginning, all the beta tests begins the week after Thanksgiving, and 30-day prosperity begins December 1st. We'll be going over distinctions like assets and liabilities and mindset and all the stuff, all that spiritual crap, you know.
Super cool. Love it.
So fun. So let's take a break and come back. We'll have some great interviews about manifestation Monday. Stay tuned.
Montoya, and I am a woman warrior. As a little girl, my joints got swollen. I was walking on crutches. Nobody really knew what was wrong with me. And when we finally figured out that I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, it was pretty hard to learn that I had an autoimmune disease because there's no cure. Back then, it was so expensive to get treatment. My family didn't have a lot of money. My joints would get swollen and I would have to get drained. Imagine sticking needles in your knees and draining all the fluid just so that you can move around. I've been picked on my entire life. And my mom always taught me, what other people think about you is their problem, not yours. It was just something within that I've always wanted to do my best no matter what. And I think that came from having this disease and knowing that there was no cure. And so you take one weakness or sickness and you turn it into something positive, and you just learn, don't complain, just find a solution.
Hi, I'm Courtney Friel, and I am a woman warrior. I don't really like feelings too much, and that's why I discovered alcohol and drugs, because I could just escape those feelings, and that made me feel better. It was right around the time when all the celebrities were dying, Heath Ledger, DJ, they were just mixing a bunch of different things. Ultimately, I was intervention with 7 people around my bed. I was sobbing in the green room closet in between shows recently because I was lonely. 4 years ago, I went through a divorce, and I had to see who I was as an adult outside of a relationship, and that's challenging. And so it's something I still struggle with. I have to keep going. I've got 2 little kids that I tell Cash and Cameron, and that is other people's problems with you are their problems. They're not your problems.
I'm Megan Henderson, and I'm a woman warrior. My dad's cancer process was not very long, so I would fly back on weekends to be with him, and I would spend all day, morning to night, in the hospital with him. Seeing him that way, seeing him so vulnerable, seeing your dad that way, it was, you know, really hard and really shocking in some ways, but it was also sort of this quiet bonding moment that we had. He was able, kind of for the first time, to let me show my strength with him. It's been many, many, many years since he's passed, but of course, I mean, I think about him all the time, and especially in those big moments. It's like he never got to see the woman I became, and I think he would have been surprised in some ways at the woman I became. If I could say one more thing to my father, it would be, I think, the mantra that I try to say every day, which are those 2 words, thank you.
I'm Christina Pascucci, and I am a woman warrior. One of the most painful moments I had to endure was when I was 10 years old, and someone that I really loved deeply and trusted was facing an addiction and had a lot of demons, and was on a drug-fueled rampage and attacked me. And as painful as that was, that for me was a defining moment. I am grateful for it. It's really made me appreciate people and have compassion for them. I'm thinking about what their life journey has been like, what hardships have they gone through. If I see someone who's lashing out in pain, what's the story behind that? What's really pissing them off? And I don't think I would have had that life perspective or appreciation for humans to the extent that I do had I not been through what I went through.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land on Manifestation Monday. We're so honored to have Megan Fenyo in the house. She is a transformational coach, author of You Are Enough, and up from San Diego.
Yes.
How are you, gorgeous?
I'm good. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks
so
for coming
excited.
in. We're so excited.
So this is a conversation we have here often about the concept of being enough. In fact, you mentioned affirmations at the top of the show, and mine is that I have and always will be everything I need to accomplish my goals and fulfill the desires of my heart. How do you convince me to believe that?
That is a good
question.
Good question, and I love that we're starting off this way. I share my story of being in a very narcissistic, abusive marriage, and when I was in my struggle, and how I never felt like I was enough because of the things that happened. And it wasn't until I closed that chapter, I was never going to get closure from him, but it was until I closed that chapter of who I became when I was with him that allowed me to start working these steps to believe that I was enough. So I can tell you, oh, you're enough, right? But you're not going to believe that. And so it's really about self-discovery and finding your true self and your true passion and your true purpose, and finding those little nuggets, those what I call grounding skills that are going to keep you grounded, focused, and helping you just overcome those negative thoughts, right? And those limiting self-beliefs.
And keep you grounded irrespective of the relationship.
So what what I'm hearing you say is that it's really about healing, heal thyself, and the affirmation, the mantra, or whatever it is that you're working on will just be already known in mind, is what you're saying. Yeah,
definitely. Yes.
Interesting. You know, I know you talked about being in a relationship with narcissists, and I think it's a fascinating conversation. I want you to speak on this because I too was in a relationship that I felt like I was a victim for a long time, and then once I really started awakening from it, I realized, like, okay, someone can do something kind of to you one time, but then if you stay, you really can't be a victim. You know. Right. So how do you play into that? How do you heal somebody from the victim mentality?
And we all play that role, right? And I'm a mental health therapist. I've been doing therapy for over 15 years. And when I was in the midst of this abuse, I didn't realize it was going on. And I did play the victim role for a while. And it really wasn't until I started discovering myself, saying goodbye to this person, and taking control of my story. And it's a hard process. It can take years to do that. But it's really about saying enough is enough, and I am not going to be the victim, and taking it through that process. So I have a lot of clients that are in that, you know, realm right now of being the victim, and just going and talking about it and figuring out what does it truly mean for you to be enough, and what story is keeping you stuck in the moment, and working through closing that story.
I love this. So let's say a person is maybe in the midst of or closing, you know, or ending sort of a narcissistic relationship or any relationship that's just not serving them. Where would you tell them to start in terms of practical steps relative to self-discovery? Where do they start?
Well, I love that question, and one of the reasons I wrote the book is because it's really about self-help. So we always go and get self-help books when our hearts hurt. And with the book here, I pose journal questions so that you're not just reading it and putting it down, you're actually starting that process of rediscovering yourself. So definitely figuring out what's going to work for you, and sometimes you do need to have a coach or a therapist or accountability person that's going to keep you focused on working through your emotions and the things that are going on. So definitely just jumping in and starting, whether it be self-help or anything.
Yeah.
So I have a question actually. It's interesting because I've worked with quite a few people that are either therapists or clinical psychologists, and they have an issue because they can only practice in their state, but now you are a coach. So help because there's people that will be watching that are interested in psychology, but their licenses will limit them doing stuff online. How does that work for you?
So I'm licensed actually in Michigan and California. So a lot of my therapy is face-to-face, but with my coaching, it's a little bit more specialized, and I do like teletherapy. So I have clients all over the country where we just jump on a Zoom and do video chat. And so it is difficult when it comes to the therapy piece.
Right? I mean, there's so many people that give like my sister, she's extraordinary, like she is an extraordinary counselor, and she can only practice to understand this is a shame. Coaches can do whatever, and therapists are bound to their state.
And that's one reason why I moved to the mindset coaching. I still have my private practice, but with the mindset coaching, it's more specific, where with mental health, you're doing a lot of maybe rebuilding from your past or childhood. And with the coaching program, it's more specific. And then, yeah, I can do coaching wherever, which is one of the reasons why I decided to kind of jump into the coaching field. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what have you learned about yourself in this process of self-discovery?
Oh, this is my favorite question. So I'm very authentic. It's one of my values. And what I was saying before the show is I started writing this book when I walked away from this abusive marriage. And so that was in February. And so I was involved, even though we were divorced, involved in this for 6 years. And there just came a point where I said enough is enough. So this book was my saving grace. This book was written when I was at the lowest of my low through my own trauma in February. And so it was something that was so real to me, and this was what helped me through this process. And so I wrote it, and it was published in August. So it has been the most difficult project of my life, but the most transformational. And so rediscovering myself is, for me, was saying, I accept that the past happened. There's nothing I can do about it. But here and in this moment, I am no longer going to allow him or anyone to control my life and to control my story. And so rediscovering myself included reevaluating my values. That's a huge piece because I had lost everything about myself, my values, what I believed in myself. You know, on the outside, everything looked great. I made it look everything great, you know, but I'm in between patients on the floor crying, you know, and so it was just rediscovering and saying goodbye to that person that I became when I was with him. So it was huge.
So tell people where they can find you and work with you.
Yes, definitely. So I am on Facebook, Megan Fenyo. I also host a podcast called the Blonde Bombshell Podcast, and we're having Dr. Erin on this week. Super excited. So Facebook, my website, just meganfenyo.com. My book is on Amazon, ebook, printed, all that good stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all your transformational work. Everyone needs this work. You know, we all are enough, and it's the core thing that we always find with every patient. So yeah. Thank you.
Everyone loves a blonde bombshell.
Right? 3 right here.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. help you out.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. If you are looking for eco chic and a great pair of jeans, you want to meet Nicole. She's the director of e-commerce for Cut from the Cloth. I am so excited to have you on the show.
Yay! Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. This is really fun.
Nicole and I were on that trip up to Napa that I've talked about before. Now you're launching Heritage.
Yes.
Tell us about the new line.
Okay, yeah, we're super excited. We just recently launched a new collection. It's called Heritage Denim. The inspiration really is from the past. So we really wanted to look at the 80s and 90s, right? We wanted these washes to really reflect like they came from the past. So that's what we were inspired about. We got some old jeans and some really using less, eliminating the overusage of water and harsh chemicals in the jeans. So we're starting this treatment, and it's new for the line, and we plan to continue to use it as we grow the collection. The other thing that's really great about this collection is that we're really proud about is it's all handcrafted, sewn, washed, and designed locally here in Los Angeles.
Nice.
Wow.
And it's an incredibly approachable price point too.
Absolutely. Yes, that's one thing that I love about this company, right? So, you know, jeans they're tricky, okay? So it's just like shopping for bathing suits or underwear. Like, we don't bras. It's something every woman is kind of terrified to shop for. So, you know, it's like we want to make sure that we're giving a jean that makes her feel comfortable. And as soon as you put on those jeans, it's a staple in your wardrobe. You put on those great fitting jeans, it immediately makes a woman feel and look good, and it gives her confidence.
It's like this fine line between, is it holding me enough in and is it comfortable enough? Like, there's the line, like, what is that exactly? And there's like always the perfect
Absolutely.
fit.
So that's what we're all, you know, this company is about, is the perfect fit. We stand by, we believe that we have a great fitting jean and a great value. We're giving our customer that great value of a great price point. So all of our jeans range from $89, and then the Heritage collection is $108.
Wow, very reasonable.
Super reasonable, and you can try 5 program.
Oh yes, we just launched this amazing program called Try 5. So again, like I said, jeans, very tricky. When you go, you don't really necessarily want to try them on.
Worst
so we're
day.
doing. You got to be feeling really skinny that day and like really good about yourself. You're like, okay, I'm going to do it. But Try 5, it is. It's a commitment. So we wanted to bring the comfort to your home. So we want customers to be able to go to our website, and a lot of times you don't know maybe your size and you don't know the fit. So you're able to pick up to 5 different styles for free. There's no sign-up fees, no subscription costs. Pick 5 styles. We ship them to you for free. Everything's free. Try them on to the comfort of your home, and then decide what you love. Send the rest back. Whatever you decide to keep, that's and then when you get charged.
Oh, then I'm going to buy all 5 because I'll never post office ever. So then that'd be all 5 of her closets.
That is incredible, because you know there's no obligation. You're not subscribed to anything, and you don't have to go spend hours at the mall.
Absolutely.
Going shop to shop, trying on what's supposed to be your size jean that is always too small.
Exactly, exactly. Trying to make it more convenient, right? So our customer's busy. She's on the go. She's involved in a lot. So we want to make it easy for her. So And then we had our models wearing our faux furs. So it is a limited edition, limited quantities. It's exclusive only to cutfromthecloth.com. And yes, it's very plush, high quality. They range from 148 to 208. They're phenomenal, beautiful. You feel like you're wearing it like a blanket. They're so comfortable.
And when I wore that jacket, I was petted everywhere. People were like, "Hi, nice to meet you." I'm like, "This is my." No, I just want to touch you.
So true.
Awesome.
It's very exciting.
But where should people buy all the products?
Cutfromthecloth.com is a great place to get the heritage. Again, it's exclusive, so that is where you will get the heritage line available. But then we are in all major department stores like Nordstrom's and Macy's and over 1,000 specialty stores. Wow. So, yeah.
Good job.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank
Seriously.
you.
Yeah, love it.
Thank you so
I love
much.
my cut.
You too can make the cut.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Good morning, LaLaLand.
Nice, Erin.
Adela Cruz, television personality, best-selling author, and founder of Passion to Paycheck, and this is my life. I grew up in a really small town called Los Banos, California, then San Diego State for college. So I started working inside of fashion and television and made my leap to Los Angeles. From there, I wrote a best-selling book called Passionistas, Tips, Tales, and Tweetables from Women Pursuing Their Dreams. Also met the love of my life who proposed publicly. ABC, The Knot, and Pop Sugar picked it up. Thank you, baby. That all led to the conference Passion to Paycheck, which is now a talk show here on the Focus TV network. My purpose here with Passion to Paycheck is to bring transparent, vulnerable conversation not only to your TV screens and your digital platforms, but to society as a whole. And this is my life.
Hello, I'm Ross Matthews, television personality, and this is my life. I grew up in a little teeny tiny little farm town called Mount Vernon, Washington, which was difficult because I'm like a gay cartoon version of a person. But I always loved showbiz and Hollywood. And so 30 seconds after I graduated high school, I got in my car and I drove to Hollywood. And then I got an internship on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and they put me on the air. And I've been making it work now on TV for almost 20 years. Can you believe that? I've been interviewed everybody from Meryl Streep to Michelle Obama and Donald Trump. It's a dream life and I'm grateful every single day. Let's see if I can pull them for 20 more. This is my life.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm so excited to welcome Lake to the show. She is an indie dream pop artist, and I think you are on fire. Look at that purple hair and the pink pants. Wow.
Thank you so much
You're
for
so
having me.
Instagrammable.
You are. I want to take a picture just right next to her, right?
I'm colorful.
You are colorful, and so is your music. How would you describe your style?
I think my style's come a long way. I evolved sort of what started as a younger punk rock and rock musician into now what has kind of gone into They held me as long as they could offset, and it was, I get there at 6 p.m. and it's 1:15, and I'm wandering through the desert with drones and tripping over rocks, and we made it look really cool, but it was actually kind of a really crazy experience, and we pulled it off, so we're really proud of what we did, and yeah, it's kind of coming to, I'm on my own alien planet, and then they kind of come find me and take me to theirs.
Your alien planet of Joshua Tree.
No, it's actually Trona Pinnacles is where he filmed it. But I've always kind of felt that I'm, a bit of an alien on this planet. I'm I'm from another planet. I've just kind of always been
quirky and different, and that's just, you know, so it made a lot of sense when Tim came to me with the concept. It made a lot of sense.
Were you like that even as a child?
Yeah, my parents always said I was a really deep thinker, and I felt things really sensitively that other kids didn't necessarily feel, and I was kind of always on my own little tip, you know what I mean, of doing things. So they kind of just let me do my thing, and it worked out.
Yeah. when did you start, or when were you able to embrace that different way about you? Was there a point or time that you remember you were sort of like, you know what, this is just who I am, and I'm going to accept it and embrace it?
I think, yeah, I mean, I'm in Dallas, Texas. It's a very conservative, where I grew up was very conservative background, and my parents were open to letting me be me, but there's definitely a lot of people, I think, within that, you know, conservative areas that try to constrict kind of creativity. And I think at first, you know, it took me a second to find my bearing, but I think that if you just stay true to yourself, and my friend always says, you do you, boo. It's like, you know, but he really means it. He's like, you do you, like, don't let people get to you. Don't let, like, the negativity. You kind of have to just follow that. Like you said, Motivational Monday, like, dig within yourself and motivate yourself and find that, and realize that your path is yours, and you've got to kind of trust that instinct, you know, and pull that motivation from within. Yeah. And even as a young kid, I think I was doing that.
So the music industry's changed so much. Like, albums used to be the big thing where the artist would monetize, and now that's changed so much with the platforms. And obviously, as an artist, you want to create the art, but you also have to engage with your audience. Obviously, social media. How are you taking it? How do you feel like the whole arena is moving to an experience with the audience? Where do you see it going?
I love the fact that it's moving towards more of an experience, and the fact that, you know, it's allowing things to be way more interactive in different mediums of art. Like, it's not just putting on a show for the sake of putting on a show. I think people are really thinking about the quality of what they're putting into the shows and the entertainment level and the artistry, and mixing different, you know, amazing video design with amazing songs combined with great musicians and great, you know, costume design, and all this kind of stuff is coming in to create really incredible things. And at the same time, you have platforms like Spotify and, you know, Tidal and Apple Music and all kinds of stuff that allows people to put their music out where they otherwise wouldn't have had an opportunity. So it's kind of allowing, on some level, of course it's not there yet, but it's allowing the, like, playing field to be leveled, and I think there's more talent able to come out from different areas of the world, et cetera. You know, like, there's, you know, as opposed to certain people just controlling it, there's much more of an outlet for talent, and that's really cool.
For sure.
You know?
Really cool. How about collaboration?
Yes, collaboration is so, I love that, like, genres are just, like, mixing with each other, and there's not really, that's why I don't like to genre. They're like, what's your genre? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we've, you know, people keep saying dream pop, and I think that I fit nicely there. But, you know, what's a genre these days? It's all about.
Same with, like, our.
So fluid.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Took the word out of my mouth.
Does living in Los Angeles or La La Land allow you to be more free in that? Sans the label, and you know, you mentioned earlier that you felt different. How has your experience in living in Los Angeles helped or hindered you?
Oh, it's definitely helped. I mean, and I'm not knocking where I come from. I obviously am very, very appreciative, and I was given a lot of great opportunities from where I grew up to have kind of, you know, a very normal childhood and experience certain things that were really kind of cool in that way. I went to summer camp, and I did certain things that I think a lot of people don't always experience, which were cool and fun like that. But coming to LA, yeah, that changed the game. That took me from being kind of green to, you know, now I'm growing and I'm getting into the pro level, and I'm really, I'm getting there. You know, it changed everything, and also allowed me to be very free and not concerned. That's really where I think I shed that worry about what people think of me, which is another thing for Motivational Monday. Like, you know, you've got to think about, like, being yourself and not letting people's opinions get to you, you know, because you've got to stay aware of who you are, you know.
It made a big difference for me. I mean, I grew up in a very conservative town in West Michigan, and when I moved to LA, that's where I felt free. Like, free of expectations from the society or my high school or my family or anything like that. I just got to wear what I wanted. I got to be who I wanted. I got to go where I wanted, and that's when I really got to, like, grow up.
Exactly.
You know?
I feel that so much. I'm so there with you.
So what's next for you in that?
We have another piece coming out this Friday called Body Parts. It's a buzz track, and the next Friday after that, we have another track coming out called All Cut Up, and then the EP itself will be releasing on December 14th, which we're really excited about, with a nice big video for a single called Strangers in the Dark. So we're putting out some content to build up here and get, you know, the people some stuff. We've been getting good response from Beautiful War. In the meantime, my producer and I are cooking up some good stuff because, you know, I'm very into activism. I advocate for multiple marginalized communities. LGBTQ community is very close to my heart. The indigenous community, Black Lives Matter, homelessness is a huge growing problem in our society that we need to deal with, and we all need to have compassion for and be a part of trying to help. And mental health issues, and I think that those all kind of tie together. I was actually talking to Megan about that earlier, about her podcast. But yeah, I definitely use the holidays. Me and Adrian, my producer, are going to be working on some stuff to try to give back and do some things. And so that's kind of my focus, is advocating for marginalized communities and putting out music. I want to use my platform to do good, especially being a white woman with privilege. I think I do have a duty to actually, if I'm putting out art, to actually try to make a difference and to not just, if you're putting out art at this point, you should be saying something, especially if you are someone from privilege.
And you are saying something. I mean, even in the titles of the tracks you just said, Beautiful War, Body Parts.
All cut up.
All cut up. Mm-hmm. Those are huge messages in and of themselves. Mm-hmm. Do you write these tracks? What are you looking for in the messages that you're giving?
When I write music, when Adrian and I sit down to write songs, we write, you know, we start with music and then we start with lyrics and we go from a very personal level. I always write from relationships and experiences I have in life, whether it be, you know, personal, intimate relationships, because I date men and women, with men or women, whether it be friendships, various other types of relationships and dynamics, encountering people on the street, the way that people treat each other, and I kind of intertwine those into my writing. But I think, you know, there's the base level of what I'm writing, and then there's metaphors within that, that speak to the bigger social consciousness within the writing.
It's just incredible. You know, in addition to your extraordinary talent, you have this extraordinary heart. Truly, and I think what makes your music so special, in addition to the talent, is that you live the music and you live the message. And I think it's just so powerful for that reason. So thank you so much for doing that and sharing that with us.
Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it so much.
So, like, what is that you want your message to be?
I want people to realize that there are a lot of people that have been suffering and dealing with a lot for a very, very long time. And there are people like me and various other people in positions of privilege that, especially people with a platform, like, you know, people, celebrities, etc., artists, people out there, people on Instagram with a following, that have the ability to really say something and try to advocate and make differences. And I think that people need to speak up. People need to stop being silent and idly standing by. I think that being complicit is basically being guilty at this point, and you know, we need to do better. We need to have more compassion for other people. We need to realize how lucky some of us are and how much we have an opportunity to, where if we do really band together, we can make a difference against the hateful things and counteract what's going on, to try to actually make what we can do to make this world just a tiny bit of a better place.
It is a beautiful war.
Yeah, it's a beautiful war, and that's very much what it's about. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your art and your message and your consciousness. So important for everyone to be free, have self-expression, and yet have harmony. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Where can everyone find and follow you and hear your music?
You can follow me at Lake Official on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's LAYKE Official, so that's LAYKE Official, and lakeofficial.com on my website. That'll give you all the information for updates of upcoming stuff and releases, and where you can find out what I'm doing.
Phenomenal.
All right.
Thank you,
so
Lake.
much.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm Kimberly Chang, and I'm a woman warrior.
And then another one, not so newsy. I'm just kidding. You guys are all so newsy. I'm like, who was that? Was that Liberty?
Do you want the definition of a woman warrior?
Yeah, I'm going to ask. Oh, I'm definitely. She's like,
okay.
Give me the question. So it could be resilience.
No, I was just going to say that.
Okay, great. Done. That's a great one. Woo! Love that.
We're going to keep it real on Sweat with Soul. That's a wrap.
the Dr. B show. I'm just having fun. This is so hard. What else do I need to do? Oh. That's my life. That's funny. No, can we start all over? That's too much talking. Do I just talk again? That was so hard. Thank you.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. Thank you so much for joining us today. Talking a little bit about manifestation and motivation and prosperity. And I'm just wondering, for each of you guys, what have you found has been most helpful in creating a life that you love? Whether it's success or happiness. Are there any specific things, beliefs, teachings that have been extremely helpful for you, just in terms of living the life of your dreams, quote unquote?
And if you don't have one answer, we'll make sure you leave it her blog.
Yes.
So you have because you're all enough. But what would you say to that?
Well, and I love that question because that's one of the chapters in my books, is finding your passion and purpose. And I think for me, like I talked about earlier, was my values and rediscovering myself and staying true to my values and authenticity. I think that's something I'm learning to embrace. Social media, not trying to be done up all the time, because I have this message that I want to share and I want it to be real and I want it to be honest. And so I think for me that's been such an amazing journey, because it's hard. It's hard to get on Facebook Live without any makeup on and be like, hey world, here I am. Just trying to, to embrace that. And that helps definitely in my journey. It makes it just more stuff for me.
It's such a good point, and I think, at least in my life, authenticity has been one of the leading themes, right? Because if you don't sort of love who you are, and if you're not comfortable with who you are, you never love where you are, and you certainly don't love who you're with, and you never love what you do, because you take yourself with you everywhere. So it's a great reminder just to be authentic and to embrace who you truly are, right? Yeah, I love that.
There is something about authenticity. I think that's a Michigan thing too.
It totally is a Michigan thing. Well, and it's funny, just real quick, I know when I moved to California, you were talking about the conservatorship in Michigan, being conservative and all of that stuff. And I always felt like I always had to be done up in Michigan. Hair, makeup, everything. And coming to California, I was just talking about this when I was home last weekend with someone, about how when I'm here, I feel more okay going to the grocery store in my pajamas and no makeup. Where back home, I just kind of felt like I always had to be done up. So it's kind of like freeing being here.
Interesting?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. And I've heard the opposite for lots of people, especially in LA. They say, oh man, when I'm home, I can just totally relax, be in my pajamas. But here in LA, I feel like I have to always be done up. So I love, you're right, you kind of get what you look for.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Because when I lived here in LA, I can go to the store without makeup on, and I don't know, it was just something that I had to embrace. In Michigan, I just always felt like, I had to be all done up.
I say I was born and raised in Michigan, but I grew up in LA.
Totally agree.
You know what I mean?
I feel that.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, I fully agree with that, definitely.
So how do you guys stay motivated, and how do you create the life you love?
For me, I definitely love just getting involved and being involved in my community and giving back, whether it's through my church, being involved in my church with the food pantry, and just showing my kids that, we need to give back and give to others. And also, I think that's also where this company, I found a home with them, is that, they are a privately owned company, it's family owned, and I feel like I'm part of that family, and they're really big about giving back. And so that's what I love about it. We're huge partners with JDRF, and we're partnering with Habitat for Humanity this holiday season. And just with the local fires, like donating jeans, like anything we can do to give back and help others. So for me, that's what it is. It's like, what is the next thing I can do to help women and help others? It is jeans that, we're selling, but it's not just jeans, it gives a woman confidence. And I'm very passionate about that. And I think everyone at my company is. And so that motivates me. And I think my children, for someday for my kids to be like, my mom's awesome. I'm sure there'll be stages where my mom's not cool, my mom's cool, but hopefully at the end of the day they'll be like,
But you bring up an interesting point about community, and it is so important on who you surround yourself with, and so you find that inspiration, you continue to be motivated, and it's not like competition and an uphill battle, That's so important.
Absolutely, and just engaging with each other. I think that's really big with our company going forward, is we just want our customer to feel like they're part of the Cut family and engaging more with them. So doing events with them and just showing them, bringing them along the process and showing them that our designers are women, and so they feel like they're a part of the family too. So it's exciting.
How about you?
That's really cool. What kind of keeps me going? I mean, I think being in the music industry, it's a really tough industry. I don't think there's really any rhyme or reason, because I know a lot of people that are super talented that aren't, making certain types of traction. I know a lot of people that kind of have ins and got certain types of traction. I know people in between. There's sort of all different types of dynamics, and none are bad. None is worse. There's no judgment on any side. For me, it's just been a matter of work all the time. Keep going. And in the meantime, since I've been in LA, just keep your head above water otherwise. And you kind of just keep going and believing in who you are, stay true to your sound, your music, your message, and you kind of just hope one day something sticks. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason.
Right?
The music industry is really kind of insane.
It seems like it's just like an exchange of energy, and you just like get it going, and it does its own thing.
Yeah, you keep it moving. Yeah, and then online, I think the online's really useful. I mean, I find the internet, like I have fun with the internet with Instagram and mixing that in. I think that platform has really helped with it. And
for sure.
Such a good point, man. I remember growing up and I was trying to make a study of success. So I would ask and interview as many successful people as I could, and I'd read all their books, and because I wanted to come up with a formula, like a guaranteed formula for success. And I remember finally getting to the end of that after years, and discovering that no, you can place some very well-educated bets, in certain corners of the world or certain corners of your personality or whatnot. But at the end of the day, there are no guarantees, not on this planet. There are no guarantees. And so it's a great reminder so that we don't get caught up in this trap of thinking that there is a formula and that we just have to find the formula and follow it, because it's just simply not the way it is. You take as many shots as humanly possible, and some will go in.
Work, and keep your head down, stay humble, stay focused, and hope for the best.
I say hustle and shine. That's all it is in LA. You don't know whether it's the music industry, the clothing, or self-development, improvement. It's so much work, and it's so vital that we stay balanced. We take time for ourselves. And is there anything you love to do for your self-care, like when you really take a moment for yourself?
Self-care is key for me. I mean, it's so important. I always say to people, we always have things that we have to do. But you should be doing something once a day that you want to do. Not that you have to do, but that you want to do. So whether that be self-care or whatever it is. For me, it's working out. It's also the beach. I live right by the beach. So that's self-care. It's taking it all in, taking a breath, and being so thankful for where I'm at, especially where we grew up. Some people are just like, oh my gosh, you're in San Diego or LA. And being thankful for that. I went for a bike ride yesterday on the beach, and I was just like, I'm so blessed to be here. And so feeling that self-care is just remembering my blessings and taking time for me, because life is so busy and it just goes in an instant.
Absolutely. Love
so
that.
true.
Nicole, what about you? What do you do?
For me, it definitely is quiet time. Even if it's in the car. Moms are busy, so and you just don't get that 5 minutes of quietness. So even if it's just no music, nothing, and just have quiet time. And if I get a chance to read my daily devotional, it's a big win that day. But it's taking a moment and just having that quiet time, and then working out, like I said earlier. That's my stress reliever. I have to, even if it's a 10 run down the street, I have to let it out, and that's my moment just to release the stress. So.
Fantastically.
I'm obsessed with bubble baths. I love Epsom salts and bubble baths with a candle and some good jazz music, some nice Etta James or Billie Holiday or something.
Yeah.
And just relax and chill out, because a lot of times your schedule's crazy with music, and bubble bath's always available. And then I'm not married and I don't have children, and I really love sushi with my friends, a nice cocktail with my besties, wrapping up a nice week and meeting up and just kind of finding out what we all did and just enjoying your friends. That's kind of where I'm at. Moms don't always have that opportunity, but I'm embracing that. There's always one. There's always one. Yes, girl, get it. There's always one.
And there's always Good Morning LaLaLand live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also listen to all these interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and check out these wonderful women. Have a beautiful day.
It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand.
Bye.